All right. Nice to see so many familiar names. Welcome, everyone. It's so nice to have you here tonight. Again, good evening, and thank you for joining us for GIS After Dark. My name is Cassie Hansen, and I am the Program Director for the GIS and Environmental Sciences and Policy Program at Johns Hopkins University. This presentation is being recorded, and you will be able to access this presentation after it is processed on the JHU GIS YouTube channel. So you'll be able to refer back to it and pull nuggets of information. So as we are all getting ready for tonight, I wanted to take a moment and to have you guys pull up the chat window and please share with us where you are joining from in the world, just to give us a geographic spatial idea of where you guys are coming from. So please go ahead and share that in the chat. Welcome, everyone. Excellent. We have Detroit, Pennsylvania. Welcome. Very nice to see you. Duke, thank you for joining. Jacob, good to see you. Excellent. So go ahead and please add that information there. It just gives us an idea where folks are coming from. And then also, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to post your questions in the chat or in the Q&A button. But the chat will actually be good. I'll be able to put voice to your chats at the end. So we'll have some time at the end of tonight's presentation to ask your questions. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So for those of you who are not familiar with GIS or our GIS program, our GIS program is an online flexible master's program at Johns Hopkins University. And so you see some examples of past students' work. And so GIS, as you'll learn today, encompasses so many different disciplines. So some of the examples that I pulled here, you're seeing on different social media outlets and may have been seeing them over the years. They're very popular. So for those of you who are joining tonight, this speaker was designed to highlight the amazing work that industry GIS professionals, JHU students, and alumni are doing in the field of GIS. So we have a couple of polls that we'd like to ask for you to participate in tonight. So the first one is just asking who is here with us tonight. Are you a student? Are you faculty? So we'll go ahead and launch those polls. So feel free to participate and let us know who you are. And we'll give a couple seconds there and close down the poll. So for those of you who are joining, we like to interact with our audience as well. So again, interaction in the chat window, interaction in the polls. Okay, so go ahead and put those in there. So we have about 48% students, we have 19% alumni, and general public 33%. So again, welcome. Okay, here's another interactive activity that I want you guys to participate. The next one is, what is your level of knowledge of GIS? Are you a GIS expert? Are you familiar with GIS? Are you relatively new? Or perhaps have no background whatsoever, and this is your first kind of exposure to it? Give you a couple more seconds, get those answers in, your votes in. Okay, great. So we have 35% that are experts in GIS, 40% that are familiar, 15% that are new, and then 10% with no background whatsoever. So excellent, welcome, you've come to the right place. We'd love to have you here. So let's just go ahead and let's just look a little bit, dive into really kind of what is GIS and pull some examples that we can use. So again, for those of you who are not familiar with GIS, it's an acronym that stands for Geographic Information Systems, or otherwise known as GIS, and it allows for the creation and collection of geospatial information in simple maps and apps. So representing what is known is the overall goal for any GIS professional through the use of data collection, analysis, map creation, and apps. And we're always trying to know more about our world, right? Showing the where, the when, the how, the who of our geospatial world. And we've seen GIS being leveraged on many different levels. It's an incredible, powerful tool for data visualization, and it allows for scientists to make decisions that have real world consequences. And so you can see some examples of past maps that students in our cartography class have made that have focused on species, climate change, looking at gaps within population as well as infrastructure. So again, there's just the wonderful array of how GIS can be used in many different programs. All right, so I'm so pleased to welcome tonight's presenter. We have Liz Martin, who is joining us tonight from Esri. And Liz will be showing us how to navigate employment, internship, and opportunities at Esri. Liz is a senior resource specialist with the university programs at Esri. And so at this point in time, I'd like for all of us to give Liz a virtual round of applause for being here tonight. Liz, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And you could go ahead and share your own. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Cassie. Thank you for having me. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I might take a moment. Bear with me.
We have a nice applause emoji from Jillian. Jillian, nice to see you here tonight. Thank you for joining us for your first GIS After Dark.
Thank you, Jillian. Can you all see my screen here okay?
Looks great.
Okay, perfect. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to drop a link in the chat for all of you. If you have some time, we just love if you could check in. And if you provide your contact information, we'll follow up with you after the call and share some resources that we hope will be helpful. So I'll add a link in there for the chat for you. But I'll go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for having me today. As Cassie shared, my name is Liz. I'm a specialist on the university programs team at Esri. I'm very excited to meet with you to share more about our organization and our early career opportunities. I am first going to ask you all a question. Whoop, my slide moved forward. I'm so sorry about that. Just curious if you could maybe drop a yes in the chat. How many of you are familiar with Esri? Just want to get a sense. Fantastic. Oh, I see some really big yeses with some exclamation points. Oh, some yes. Thanks, Stephanie. That is seriously so exciting to see. So I get a sense that a lot of you may be familiar with Esri. For some of you, you might be just getting started with us, but I hope no matter what your experience might be, that each of you will learn at least one new thing about us today. So we will get started here with a brief video.
Everything on our planet is interconnected. As our world gets smaller,
And I think it froze for us.
what happens across the globe has ripple effects that hit closer and closer to home. To understand the complex systems that shape our lives, geography matters more than ever. At Esri, for over 5 decades, we've been the leader in Geographic Information Systems, a technology that enables people in every industry on the planet to use maps and data to take on challenges large and small, like how to protect the Earth, how to grow, how to deliver, how to care, how to plan. GIS helps our users see beyond the surface, to integrate layers of data to reveal patterns, linkages, relationships, turning complexity into clarity, helping us not only see where we are, but understand how to see the way forward.
So Esri is recognized as the world leader in Geographic Information Systems software, or GIS as we know it. Currently, we have more than 1 million users worldwide, spanning nearly every industry on the planet, and we have approximately 40% of the global market share. Today, our core technology, ArcGIS, provides an integrated suite of capability across platforms, including desktop, server, mobile, and web. And next, we'll dive into a little bit of our company history so we can see where it all began. I wanted to first ask, does anybody know who the two people on this slide are? Maybe you can drop the names in the chat if you're familiar. There we go. From Ben, we've got Jack Dangerman. Yep, Jack and Laura Dangerman. So Jack and Laura founded Esri in 1969. They actually founded our company headquarters in a city called Redlands, which is in Southern California. That's marked by the blue dot on the map there. So Southern California, it's a little bit different for a tech company. A lot of them are located in Northern California. Redlands is southern, about 60 miles inland from LA. So that may seem a little interesting. I'm curious if anybody knows why Jack and Laura founded the company in Redlands in particular. Drop your ideas in the chat here. Any clue why they might have found it in Redlands? That's okay. I'll help you out. So Redlands is actually Jack and Laura's hometown, and that is where it all began. Over the years, we've expanded. We've opened a total of 10 regional offices across the United States, which are marked by the dots on the map here. And today, approximately 56 years since our founding, we're still a privately held and debt-free organization. This means we don't have any shareholders or stockholders to answer to. Instead, we're excited to primarily focus on feedback that we receive from our millions of users and thought leaders in the industry. I do want to call out Indra and Cassie. The landscaping piece was a really good guess for why we founded Esri in Redlands. Now, in addition to our domestic regional offices, Esri has opened 11 international R&D centers, which are marked by the orange dots on the map here. This brings our company size to over 6,000 global employees, and our employee base represents 73 different countries and 700 universities, including 200 outside the United States. But it doesn't stop there. Our reach has expanded significantly further thanks to the help of our international distributors across the globe, which are marked by the yellow dots on the map here. These are organizations that have our authorization to support, sell, and consult with our technology. The main difference is they do not build the proprietary portion of our technology. So at this time, we have approximately 150 international distributors worldwide. We could not do this without them. They are providing local user support in 100 countries on 6 continents. Currently, just to give you a sense of our customers, we support over 700,000 customer organizations, including 90% of Fortune 100 companies, 70% of the largest global companies, most national governments, 30,000 cities and local governments, and all 50 US states, as well as 12,000 universities. At Esri, the philosophy behind our success is our mission. We have 4 critical points to this. We support our users in the successful implementation of GIS. We provide the most robust GIS software programs in the world and continuous development of technology. We conduct meaningful GIS application projects that really push the technology and demonstrate the effective utilization of GIS for professional services. All in all, we do work that makes a difference. Now, you may be wondering, well, how exactly are we making a difference? There are 4 major categories that Esri strives to make positive impacts in. The first being the field of science. The scientific community relies on Esri's GIS technology to address many of today's environmental challenges and to assist in better managing Earth's natural resources for a more stable future. And while Esri's tools and technology are at the forefront of many of these impacts, so are our people. There are several prominent leaders in our organization, like Esri's chief scientist. Has anybody heard of Don Wright? Maybe give Don a shout out in the chat if you have before. We have incredible people like Don who are dedicated to ensuring better, stronger GIS focused problem solving in the scientific community. Yes, Deep Sea Don, that's right. And the next area that we seek to make a difference in is education. Esri provides GIS technology to classrooms around the world to support STEM learning curriculums and to help cultivate geosciences and spatial awareness skills in students and in the next generation of STEM professionals. These tools are often made available at no cost to K through 12 institutions. Drop in the chat. I'm curious, did anybody get to learn GIS maybe in primary school, in early education, high school? Did anybody get to learn GIS? We'll continue to spread that at these K through 12 institutions. Oh, we've got high school, yes. Nope, but I'm teaching my students. We appreciate you, absolutely. All right, and the next category is humanitarian efforts. The data and analytics built into the ArcGIS suite of technology enables nonprofit organizations around the world to provide swift, critical aid to communities in crisis and allows those organizations to expedite aid and disaster response. Esri's tools in the hands of these important organizations make monumental impacts to save property, resources, and lives, especially in these times of need. And another major area we strive to make an impact in is sustainability. We support our customers in addressing some of the world's most pressing issues, from poverty to food insecurity, all through harnessing the power of GIS technology and the power of location to design more resilient communities. So on this note, I know a lot of you have experience with GIS. I'm curious if you could drop in the chat if you've been utilizing these tools to support any of these 4 areas. Maybe you can shout out the area, whether it's science, education, sustainability. Have you already been utilizing it for these major pieces? Fantastic from Ben, sustainability, from Duke, education. Oh, it's moving fast. We've got education and science. Science working with urban heat islands for the federally recognized tribes. This is fantastic. And honestly, for someone who's a little bit removed in human resources, the work that people like you are doing with these tools is what makes working at Esri so exciting for me. So I just wanted to shout out to you all for all the amazing work that you're doing and that you'll continue to do and use these tools for in the future as well. So I think everybody should give themselves a round of applause. I'm doing it here for you. Thank you all for the amazing impact that you're having. Now, diving into our culture at Esri and what it's like to work there, the driving force at Esri is our people. We're organized as a collection of division teams. Often we call ourselves a team of teams, and we all have various areas of focus. Collaboration is the foundation of our culture, and each and every day, diverse groups of people across the organization are brainstorming and innovating together to accomplish a variety of meaningful projects, and we're working to continuously enhance our products and user experiences. As for the experience as an Esri employee, I'll focus a little bit on our headquarters in Redlands. I'm not sure if anyone's gotten to visit Redlands or maybe see photos of what it looks like, but Jack has designed an amazing, amazing headquarters. We say that it has a campus feel. We have 2 fitness centers, an on-site cafe with a Starbucks bar, as well as a library. And like many of our US regional offices and R&D centers, our Redlands teams typically support flexible schedules and a casual dress environment. Esri as an organization believes in personal and professional growth and continued learning, and our employees are encouraged to continue to develop their skills in various ways. There's a lot of support for this. We do have an internal team fully dedicated to employee development and training. They facilitate lessons and workshops that employees can sign up for if they're interested. We also have a comprehensive reference library for all team members to utilize, and for full-time employees, we have support for continuing education through our tuition and reimbursement program as well. So as I close out this overview of Esri as an organization and what it's like to work there, I really want to drive home that at Esri, we strive to build a supportive work environment for our employees. And based on some of the feedback that we've received in recent years, we think that we've been able to do just that and will continue to push to do that. Over the last few years, we've been recognized with numerous awards from a site called Comparably. These awards are based on direct feedback from our current employees, meaning it comes directly from the source of our work, our people. So this year in 2025, Esri won 8 awards, which you can see on the screen here. Best Company for Perks and Benefits, Happiness, Work-Life Balance, Leadership, Career Growth, Diversity, Women, and Outlook. And as for that Best Company Outlook Award, this was determined by consolidating employee feedback on 3 major things: how confident they feel about the future success of their company, how excited they are about going to work each and every day, and how likely they are to recommend work at Esri to a friend. So we're incredibly proud of these achievements. I appreciate having the opportunity to share them with you. And I wanted to ask, after learning a little bit more about Esri as an organization, can anybody share in the chat if they may be interested in perhaps joining us in the future, joining us in our mission? Maybe you can shout out a yes. Oh, we got an absolutely from Alex. Fantastic. Okay. I love to see this. This leads me to my next section here. Now that we've talked through our history, our mission, our culture, I wanted to provide some insight into our student and early career opportunities to consider if you're interested in joining Esri. So currently, this is the time for applications. We are recruiting for 2 major 2026 student programs. I'm curious to hear, has anybody heard of our student assistantships before? Maybe you could drop a yes in the chat here too, if you've heard of the student assistant roles. And the no's are good, because I'm going to provide some background here. But some have heard of them. Okay, I'm going to take it a step further. Has anybody been a student assistant before? And maybe you could clarify it in the chat by saying, I've been a student assistant, so I can know for sure around the yeses and the nos. Calling for any past student assistants. All right, that is totally okay because I have all the details for you. Our student assistantship program is an amazing chance to get to see the magic behind the scenes of Esri conferences. So it's an opportunity to immerse yourself in one of our largest annual conferences as a volunteer. And this includes opportunities to participate in technical sessions and networking events as well. I'll list the 4 major conferences that we have for your notes, especially because time of year matters, especially around spring breaks and your class schedules. 4 conferences that we have student assistance support every year are first, our federal GIS conference. That's in February in Washington, D.C. We also have our developer summit in March. That's in Palm Springs, California. And then our Energy Resources GIS conference in April in Houston, Texas. And our largest one every year is our user conference in July in San Diego, California. I feel like UC is the most well-known. It is the world's largest GIS conference annually. So it's a really exciting opportunity. To provide some more information about our student assistantships, these are volunteer opportunities. As for role expectations, time at conference can vary by event, but student assistants may support for up to 1 week. That's really for UC, it's our longest conference. Our student assistants volunteer in part-time designated shifts. They help Esri staff with various event logistics, things like technical session monitoring, registration when attendees come in for the first time, as well as the Esri store. In return, students receive complimentary registration to the conference, meal per diem, as well as hotel. So essentially, students are only paying for travel to and from the conference, and Esri handles the rest. When student assistants aren't volunteering, they can attend any technical sessions and social events that they're interested in. This is a great opportunity for personal and professional development, as well as building your network, not just with Esri employees, but of course with other professionals who are at the conference. It really gets your foot in the door within the industry. And as for candidate requirements, applicants should be currently enrolled in an accredited college or university as a 4th-year undergraduate student or a graduate student. And I'll move on to the next early career opportunity. Has anybody heard of Esri's intern program, or maybe known someone who's interned before with Esri? Maybe any past interns here? No past interns? Well, I have some information for you on this, of course. Another early career opportunity to consider is the summer internship program. Each year, Esri hosts over 100 interns at our headquarters in Redlands and also in select US regional offices to work on real world problems that our teams and users are facing. For more details on our internships, they're full-time paid positions lasting 12 weeks in duration. Each intern is partnered with a formal one-on-one mentor to guide their work on critical projects. And in addition to the real-world hands-on work experience that the intern receives with their mentor and their host team, my team, the university programs team, we and our regional intern site ambassadors host weekly and special events for our interns that they can opt to participate if they're interested. So every week there's things like intern game days and team builders. We've got technical demos. We have senior leaders from each division come to speak with the interns. We also have learning and development workshops for them to register for as well. And then every year we host an intern hackathon that they can participate in if they're interested in. Our interns also receive complimentary registration to the user conference every July as well. So overall, there are numerous and various opportunities for personal and professional development and networking within the intern program. As for candidate requirements for this in particular, applicants should be currently enrolled in a 4-year bachelor's, master's, or PhD program in a university in the United States, and undergrads must be 3rd or 4th year students in particular. Great question from Duke. Can recent graduates participate in the internship program? Yes. So for example, if you are graduating in spring 2025, say May or June, oh my goodness, May or June 2026, you are eligible for the 2026 summer program. So yes, recent graduates are eligible as well. Now, you may be wondering where exactly you may fit in at Esri when it comes to our team of teams. So there are many different divisions with different types of roles. We have 4 major career pathways for students with GIS knowledge and experience to consider. So I'll be presenting these from the internship perspective, but I do want to note that they really mirror the pathways for full-time employees as well. And you'll see some job titles on the slides here for interns. A lot of times those also mirror job titles for full-time positions. If you happen to be checking out opportunities on our career site, a lot of these will be the same for both students and full-time roles. So as we review each pathway on the next few slides, you will see candidate requirements for each type of role noted. And I'll also share some more information about the type of work that each one of them focuses on throughout the summer. So there will be a lot of information on the slide, but I'll be sharing some more details for you as well. Our first major internship pathway is create our software. So if this sounds interesting, if you're kind of interested in that development sort of programming side, you can consider roles within our ArcGIS product engineering division, and we'll discuss 3 main ones that we have for interns today. Starting with our product engineer interns, they collaborate with engineers to design and test Esri software. Our ArcGIS products offer students a unique chance to interact with software utilized on cloud platforms, mobile devices, and also desktop. As we mentioned, there's various platforms for it. And these interns have a chance to actively contribute to the development of mapping and spatial analytics software. This is super important as we were talking about to various industries and fields. One thing I want to point out on the slide here, it says software testing or scripting skills are a plus. You do not have to have expertise in that. Essentially, our product engineers come in as the GIS experts to partner with our software developers who have that computer science background. So the product engineers are really focused on testing and quality assurance, not necessarily the programming piece. Another role to consider within this pathway is our GIS engineer interns. They work with engineers dedicated to transforming the application of GIS within the ArcGIS user community by creating impactful information-based products. So this would be a really great opportunity to spend your summer contributing to the creation of data sets, designing data layers, developing maps and applications, or maybe analyzing spatial data, a little bit more data focused in this particular role. And then another part to this pathway is our product engineering writer interns. They collaborate with writers and engineers to help users really understand how and why to use ArcGIS. They create, capture, and communicate best practices and methods using the geographic approach, and they give users the skills and confidence to ask and answer questions about their data. So a lot of times they're focused on writing blogs, tutorials, technical documentation to really provide resources for our users when they're utilizing GIS. So I know I've been talking a little bit nonstop about these 3 here. I do want to make sure you have time to review the candidate requirements to get a sense of if your background feels like it's a match, if you think this could be a fit for what you're interested in doing. So I'll give you a few moments of silence just to take a peek.
Liz, do you mind if I jump in with a question?
Of course, yes.
So as we're looking at these slides, you know, I hope students are looking at the skill sets, because it's easy to see the title engineering and be intimidated by by what is being asked of the job. And I'm just curious, and I know you'll probably get there, but advice for students when they see a position that they think, gosh, I could fit this, and this skill set, but I don't have this, and that. Like any suggestions or advice for them as they are kind of navigating, looking at these opportunities?
That is a great point. Yes, I would say, first of all, I feel like in my experience, every company has different job titles, even for the same type of role. So do not just stop at the job title and get intimidated. Like Cassie, great point. Engineer, that could be a little scary to see. Take a look through that job description and what exactly they're asking for when it comes to the candidate requirements. And then, at least in our postings, we also have like a recommended requirements section where, for example, for the product engineer interns, we note software testing or scripting would be a plus. It's not a requirement though. I also would recommend, if you're feeling like you're meeting a lot of the candidate requirements, but maybe missing one or two here or there, still submit an application. You just never know. I just personally, I'm of the mindset of I might regret it later if I don't try. So I would say always apply, even if you're not sure if you're 100% a fit. And something that could back you up on that is having a cover letter. I know it's a little bit of extra work, and sometimes people wonder, do recruiters read these? We absolutely do at Esri. And having a cover letter really allows you some more space to drive home your experience in some of the areas that they're seeking. So it's hard to fit things on just one or two pages on a resume, but that cover letter gives you an opportunity to write a lot more detail and just show how you could really be a good match for this role based on your relevant experience. Hopefully that answered your question, Cassie.
It did, absolutely. And I think there's definitely
Okay.
some more questions in the chat here. Mary just asked if there's opportunities for remote internships. Is that an opportunity?
So we've moved back to on site over the last few years. So in our job postings, I'll have QR codes that will link you right to them toward the end of the presentation. In each job posting, you'll see the offices where that position could potentially be at. So some postings might say only Redlands, California. Some postings have a few locations listed. Great question.
Excellent. And then Chris was wondering, he's received his bachelor's degree and is currently pursuing an associate's degree. Would that be okay? Would that qualify for internships?
So we are looking for students in a 4-year program, either bachelor's, master's, or a PhD for graduate programs.
And then a question from Indra, what about students that may not have a GIS background, but have a background in kind of like computer science? Is there still a place for them here?
Absolutely. So Indra, I have positions focused mainly on GIS experience here, but for computer science background, we do have various teams that you can consider for full-time and for internships. We do have software development internship posted, and then also within our information technology team, we have, you'll see it on our site as information technology computer science internships. And that's essentially focused on building apps for internal use, like for our employees, whereas the software development internships are focused for our various products that external users are utilizing. Great question. All right, I'll move on to the next pathway here. So once our software is created, we come to the second major internship pathway, which is selling our products and services, led by our corporate marketing and global business development teams. I'll start with our corporate marketing interns. They work with seasoned marketing professionals and develop their writing, research, and analytical skills while helping market Esri products and services. So this could include conducting market research for a business development campaign for various industries, perhaps developing email or social media campaigns, and even providing event support at the user conference during the summer. As for our business development division, we have GIS sales interns who are collaborating with sales professionals and other staff to really help customers understand the value of GIS. this role provides the opportunity to apply your business development and relationship building skills in a dynamic customer focused environment. And this could really help you when it comes to gaining experience to leverage for a future in sales, marketing, consulting, perhaps technical roles if you're interested in that GIS focus. And we also have solution engineer interns within our business development division. They help customers solve complex technical challenges by showcasing the value of GIS and Esri technology. So they're working very closely with our sales side in attempt to show customers just how important and valuable this technology can be for them and their business. So some examples of past projects that solution engineers have worked on include performing innovative analysis like GeoAI to detect natural disaster impacts, developing urban areas and shifts in natural and agricultural habitats. They've also designed workflows, maps, and applications supporting customers such as nonprofits, NASA, and defense and intelligence. So moving on to our next pathway, now that our software has been created, our products and services have been sold, we've got that customer, our third major internship pathway comes into play, and that's implementing GIS in our professional services division. So now that we have that user, we want to make sure that we're supporting them with anything that they may need going forward. And our technical consulting interns help users solve complex problems with geospatial technology through best in class technology, consulting, and enterprise services. Over the summer, they collaborate with mentors to enable user success with the effective implementation and application of ArcGIS. They support strategic projects across a range of industries, including state and local government, natural resources, utilities, commercial, the list goes on and on. And for our final pathway here, so our software has been created, it's been sold, we're helping our customers implement GIS within professional services. We're also supporting our customers on a day-to-day basis on our technical support team. These interns work with seasoned professionals who provide world-class technical support. They ensure our customers achieve success and make effective, smart geospatial decisions all around the globe. So for this particular team, we're looking for people with excellent customer service experience, troubleshooting skills, analytical and problem-solving skills, especially since it can be fast-paced on a day-to-day basis. Now, after learning more about us and our student assistantships and our internship pathways, curious to hear how you're feeling. Do you feel like you've heard about a role that could be a match for you? Maybe you're interested in applying to join Esri in our mission. Hopefully I'll see some yeses in the chat. Okay. Ben, I promise I'll come back to your question. Just in the interest of time, I have a little bit more information to get through. I just want to make sure you all get some more information on where to go next and how to apply. So these are some major details on application timelines for our student programs, our early career opportunities, as well as our full-time roles. You'll see here postings on for our 2026 student assistantships and internships. They're currently live on our Ripple Match site. So you can scan that QR code on the left for student assistantships and internship positions in particular. Typically, our applications are due by the end of the year. So by 5 o'clock Pacific time on December 31st, but I do highly recommend applying as soon as possible if you're interested, because we do interview on a rolling basis. And then as for full-time roles, if you're interested and available to start full-time, you can scan that QR code on the right there. Full-time positions are generally posted just as they become available. So it could change from day to day on our career site. Highly recommend applying as soon as possible if you see something that you're interested in, because they will be removed as positions are filled. And another way to stay connected with us in the meantime, has anyone heard of Esri's Young Professionals Network, or YPN, before? Maybe someone might be a member in this meeting. Okay, I see some yeses. So I highly recommend joining YPN and getting involved. This another QR code for you. This scans right to a submission sheet where you can sign up. This is a community for those just starting their GIS journey or experienced professionals who may be new to the field. Really, it's a space for everybody. In YPN, you have the chance to learn more about the power of location technology. You can connect with peers and industry experts and grow your network of innovative and tech-savvy contacts. You can also gain leadership experience to raise your profile and advance your career. So I'll give you just another moment here if you're interested in scanning this code to get connected with YPN. Something that's amazing about this is YPN has a number of regional chapters, and I saw a lot of your locations in the chat are nearby. So YPN groups are typically local to our regional offices. We've got major chapters hosting events in numerous cities across the US, including Redlands, Denver, San Antonio, Minneapolis, St. Louis, Charlotte, DC. We've got office in Philadelphia, New York, and also Portland, Maine. So you can get involved and even attend on-site events within our offices as well. And just a few more resources for you to stay connected with us. We do have major social media profiles when it comes to things like LinkedIn and Instagram. So you can follow that hashtag Esri Experience. We hope you'll join us and join the discussion. And I will stop there. I know I've been talking your ears off. I just want to thank you so much for your time and your participation today. I really appreciate your patience. I know that was a lot of information to get through. So we can kick off that Q&A here. And I know I have some questions in the chat to revisit too.
Excellent. Thank you, Liz. This was great.
Thank you, Cassie.
Yeah, and I think, establishing the pillars and then really kind of diving into what skill sets you're looking for is so wonderful, because I'm our students are in our program, and when they graduate, we know they have these skills, being able to write, being able to present, being able to troubleshoot. So it's really wonderful to see exactly what you guys are looking for from the Esri standpoint. But one thing I wanted to add to this kind of discussion is, maybe Esri is not the career point for you, but maybe it's an Esri partner that has you working with Esri. Esri's partners are absolutely amazing. And that's how I ended up working alongside with Esri through the disaster response program, was through a partner startup. And just the being able to communicate and connect with the professional develop, the skills, the technical folks, all of those resources that you provide your partners is fantastic. So that might be another opportunity for students to look into with all of the partners and networks that you have.
Absolutely. And actually, while I am pulling up the site, because we do have on our website more information on all of our partners as well, in case that's a career path that you'd be interested in pursuing. So I'll drop that in the chat as well.
Perfect.
Great point, Cassie. Thank you.
And then, so as you're dropping that into the chat, Duke just posted a question, and he's an undergraduate GIS major trying to break into the industry. And Duke, we hear this all the time with students that, are ending up with this 4-year degree, and now what do you do next? And from I'm going to put my advising hat on from the kind of graduate advising standpoint. It's so important to get involved. Especially, as you're approaching graduation, volunteer with organizations that need GIS help. See how you can contribute to your community, because oftentimes those kind of connections that you make, and once they hear that you know GIS, then all of a sudden, they're saying, hey, I need a map for this particular grant that we're writing, or could you maybe help in some data collection? And that's really how that conversation goes with kind of getting your foot in the door. So I would say try to gain as much experience as possible in the real world before you graduate, and you never know where that will take you.
Absolutely. And Cassie, can I add to that too?
Yeah, absolutely.
I fully agree with what you're saying, and also part of what Duke said about Indeed really stood out to me. Um, I know this is kind of like me talking about the cover letter. I know it's a little bit of extra work, but in my experience, have found when I apply directly to a company website and tweak my resume a little bit just per that job description and exactly what they're looking for, that has really helped push my application forward. So just to give an example of this, if you're looking at, say, like a product engineer role, at Esri, and they're seeking 2 years of experience with ArcGIS Pro, just a random example. In your resume, I highly recommend adding any relevant experience that you have with ArcGIS Pro to multiple sections. It could be your skills section, it could be relevant internship or co-op experience. It could also be a project section, or maybe you link to a GIS portfolio. And then you can even add a cover letter to really detail a specific project that you worked on with ArcGIS Pro. So sometimes it's really tricky to have, say, like one resume that you're using for all different kinds of positions at different places. And I think really having an individual resume kind of tweaked to each job really goes a long way. And of course, having that cover letter as well helps. Again, I know it's extra work, but in my experience, it really has moved me forward when it comes to getting calls back. So
That's
hopefully
wonderful.
that
And I know,
helps.
absolutely. I mean, all of that great advice. And, also showing examples of past projects. Willem, you asked about a portfolio. And so students that are completing cartography, they walk away with this, we call this story map blog, but it's a portfolio of their work. And they're walking away at the end of class, with this portfolio. And
Mm-hmm.
absolutely tie that, underneath your email signature, link it within your resume. That opportunity to highlight not only what you learned in one class, but throughout the entire program is just a wonderful example of your skill set.
Definitely. You want to show off all your hard work that you've spent so much time on. And, not every company requires a portfolio, but like you said, Cassie, I think adding that link to the top of your resume just really helps you stand out from the crowd for sure.
Mal has a question. So can you, once you're in Esri, can you switch jobs within the company? How easy is that from going from like one division to the next or one team to another team?
That is a really great question. So at Esri, I feel like there's like two different paths you can take. And it's kind of just like any role. Sometimes people would like to move up in that same team. They might move to a level 2 and then maybe a lead and then maybe be in people management. But we do find that a lot of people kind of switch career paths within Esri. So, for example, they might start off in technical support, but then move into a different role, whether it's professional services or the product engineering team, just depending on what they're interested in doing. So, our recruiters stay very close in touch with people throughout their first year, especially to see how things are going. And then, of course, there's the support of the manager to talk through exactly what you're interested in, especially as you join and get to know what's possible within the different teams. So we do see that a lot where people move from team to team. It is very common.
Nice. Well, I just want to say this group that we have here tonight is a lively one, and these questions have been just absolutely wonderful. So thank you guys for interacting and posing your questions here throughout the presentation. And Liz, I just want to thank you for taking your time to be with us here tonight. So it's so nice to be able to hear, what exactly Esri is looking for. And again, the students that are here within the Hopkins program, they are graduating with these skill sets. So now what do they do? Where do they go? And I think also thank you for sharing the partner link as well. That's another great resource of opportunities that students should be looking at upon graduation.
Absolutely. It is my pleasure. I really appreciate your time and patience as I shared a lot of information here. If there are any follow-up questions, there is an email on the slide here, university@esri.com. So if we maybe didn't get to your question, please feel free to reach out to our team anytime. We'd be happy to help in any way we can.
Perfect. So as folks are getting ready to to log off, I just want to remind everyone, please come back here this time next month. We're going to put on our cartography hat and we're going to sit and chat with Lauren Tierney, who used to be a senior graphic designer at the Washington Post, but is now involved with the cartography division within Esri. So cartography students, extra credit if you attend. Anyone interested in making better maps and learning more about the cartographic world behind the GIS side of things, I'd love to see you. So again, thank you guys for joining. And Liz, again, thank you so much. And make sure, folks, that you guys are, if you're interested, make sure you're reaching out. There's some great resources that were provided this evening. So with that said, hope you guys have a wonderful evening and thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.